In this video, I want to share with you an example of how I use the Eric Ries MVP, minimum viable product, and the extreme product development model in my own products. And I'm going to show you how I use this for my Kindle books and Amazon books. When I show you my books, I'm not trying to promote my books. This is just because I know this from the creator's point of view. I can give you true insights. What happened was in 2015, so now a long time ago, I gave myself about 2 months to write a bunch of books. Prior to that, I have not had a lot of success with books. This was my first successful book, the mobile app marketing book. It did okay, but at that time I was a struggling author. And what I was still trying to do is figure out how can I make some popular books. And I gave myself some book topics, and I gave myself a lot of books. I wrote, in 60 days, I wrote this business plan book. I wrote this event planning book. I wrote this local small business marketing book. I wrote the marketing plan book. I wrote the fundraising book. And I believe I wrote the personal branding book, the flyer marketing book that you see here, the Twitter marketing, the introduction to marketing, the offline marketing, and I think also this mastermind marketing. So you see, I wrote a lot of books in 60 days. Were they good? No. In the beginning, they were not. This particular book, the business plan book, since that initial launch, I believe it was something like 50 pages in its initial launch. Right now, it's over 200 pages. I have had 19 revisions since then. So if I had spent a lot of time in editing, because since this book was launched, I've had 3 separate editors, and I myself edited it 5 times or so. And it grew from 50 pages to over 200. If I had given the same investment to every one of the books that I had written, I would have spent maybe a year or more and a lot of money, and a lot of the books failed. The only books that actually succeeded are this business plan book and this event planning book. All the other books, they sell, but in a very mediocre way. But I didn't know that before I wrote it. I really had no idea what was going to work. I just wanted to give everything a fair try. And what I observed is I saw, some things are starting to pick up. I'll reinvest in it and I'll edit it a little more. I'll improve it a little more. So I've gone through like 19 revisions of this business plan book, and it's getting better and better. Is it perfect? No, I'm still improving it. But that's that lean startup methodology by Eric Ries. I continuously update the book in relatively small increments, little by little, and I observe feedback, and then based on feedback, I improve it some more, and over time it's getting better and better, and it has been growing. But the books that have been duds, I left them out. And while I was writing these books, every day was kind of a stressful sprint. I was writing, and I was constantly changing direction. I had some other plans for other books. I decided to take them out, partially because it was just too many books, partially because I started to have some lessons learned. As I was in my 30th and 40th day, some of the books were already live and I was already getting lessons learned. So that extreme product development methodology kicked in, where I was able to change direction based on things I was learning that very moment. And so some books I decided not to write, some books I decided to change. And with this really rapid product creation and extreme flexibility, I ended up having this successful project where I had 2 books that were successful. So that way I was able to create a lot of duds, but those failed books that I did create, the investment in them was not that big, and I was able to tell which books I should focus on, and I was able to determine which books I should focus on and reinvest more energy and time into those books to make them bigger and bigger successes. So that's how I balanced that in my book creation process. I have had kind of a similar experience with my courses, because now I have way too many courses, but it's because I kept on learning what makes courses better and better, and based on that, it was informing me how I should make my next courses. And of course, I've still not perfected how to make a perfect course, so I'm still learning how to make a perfect course, how to adjust it, what's wrong with my courses, and based on that, kind of using this extreme product development methodology, I develop newer courses. For example, I just bought a new microphone. If somebody says your sound is echoey or your sound is not so good, then I'm going to go back to my drawing board and research how can I improve sound further. Then I'm going to make the adjustments. Then I'm going to refilm all those things. And so my further filming will be based on feedback. So I'm constantly able to adopt. Sometimes I wish I was adopting faster, but I'm adopting at my own speed as soon as I can go. That way I'm improving my book creation, course creation, all kinds of product creation that I need to improve. I'm able to do that using this kind of extreme development model. But am I doing the extreme thing every day? No. Most days I'm going at the planned pace so I don't drive myself crazy.